Namaskar friends, let's start today's current affairs. In a historic milestone, which rocket carried America's black astronaut into space? SpaceX, Virgin Galactic, Blue Origin or none of these? It's Blue Origin. Ed Dwight, who was Air Force pilot, took the space journey after 60 years and he is at 90 years old, flew to space and experienced the weightlessness. So let me tell you how it happened. When he was in Air Force, he was nominated for the space flight. He was the first black astronaut and President John F. Kennedy recommended him for the space flight. However, due to some unknown reasons, he was not picked up in 1963 NASA's flight and recently at age of 90 years, he is a retired pilot of Air Force. He took the space flight just for a few minutes and experienced the weightlessness. It was not complete space, but he experienced, the edge of space where weightlessness was observed. The first black person or African American who became the astronaut in 1983 and his name is Quion Bluford. Ed Dwight took a space flight after age of 90 years after the 60 years of waiting since he was assigned for the space flight in 1963. And this rocket was carried by Blue Origin. Blue Origin is a company founded by Jeff Bezos, who is also founder of Amazon. Just like SpaceX operates Dragon capsule and Dragon spacecraft, in a similar manner, Blue Origin operates New Shepard. ONDC Startup Mahotsav was organized by Department of Promotional Industry and Internal Trade, Ministry of Home Affairs, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, and Ministry of Rural Development. So it was option A, Department of Promotion, Industry and Internal Trade. ONDC means Open Network for Digital Commerce. As name suggests, it is a non-profit company set up by Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade. It is a Government of India department and was founded in 31st December of 2021. You don't have to remember this name, but just have an idea. It led to increased participation from small businesses. Earlier, there was monopoly by big e-com companies, by private e-com companies who were favorable to those people who were, big sellers. They were influential sellers, and lots of small sellers, medium range sellers were not appreciated much. So after coming the ONDC, most of the large number of the small sellers also started participating in e-com activities, and ONDC is not a website or app but as a system, and because of this system, small sellers also started to participate in selling activities. It connects multiple shops together and aims to end monopolies of big corporations which favor the only big sellers. So once again, ONDC Startup Mahotsav was organized by DPIIT. World Organization for Animal Health, WOH, is headquartered in Paris, Zurich, Cape Town or Nairobi. So it's Paris. It is located in Paris, France, and purpose of it to focus on animal safety and welfare. Tracks, shares info about epidemic diseases found in animals, and it maintains the database from member countries. It carries all the diseases that animals are facing. It creates solutions and shares among member countries. So once again, it is headquartered in Paris. Which country has put sanctions on US firms selling arms to Taiwan? China, Iran, North Korea or Russia? So it's China. US has been Taiwan's since years and supplies arms. China and Taiwan have disputes. China claims entire Taiwan as its own, and Taiwan claims itself as an independent country. Taiwan faces threats and arms supplied by the US for Taiwan's self-defense. So once again, China has sanctioned the US companies, especially those defense companies such as Boeing and two other defense companies. Taiwan is economically very advanced country. It houses TSMC, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Corporation, which is the biggest chip making fabrication company in the whole world. In fact, it is so big that entire chip system is supplied by TSMC all over the world. Every mobile device who are powered by modern semiconductor chips, they are likely to be made in Taiwan than anywhere part of the world. It also houses the Foxconn, which also assembles, iPhones and other smartphones. So once again, Taiwan is a hub of semiconductor industry, and any kind of disruption, any kind of war, any kind of takeover will lead to the global supply chain disruptions, and US has supplied arms to Taiwan, and that's why it has been sanctioned. According to NOAA, how much coral bleaching has occurred so far? 30, 40, 50, 60. So it is 60%. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration of it is a US institute and cautioned due to the excessive coral bleaching. Most of the bleaching caused by the warming sea and oil pollution spill. As we know, global temperatures are rising and it is also leading to warmer seas, and warmer seas is led to the coral bleaching. Often oil tankers who pass through the oceans also spill oil, and this oil spillage led to the degraded marine life, damaged seabed as well as coral bleaching. Coral reefs account 20% of marine life and they are also called the rainforest of the seas. Coral helps a lot in the economy because coral bleaching creates a very picturesque marine life. Lots of scuba divers go inside. It creates lots of tourism opportunity. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. It's a multi-billion-dollar GDP boost for any country to have great marine life nearby its coasts. And not only it produces biodiversity, acts as a natural barriers for coast and nitrogen cycling. So corals are very important for ecosystems. Great Barrier Reef is located in Australia and it is the largest coral reefs all around the world. Recently, Lakshadweep has also started lots of coral bleaching, and this is worrying because it has become more like a global trend where lots of coral bleaching are taking place, and this is not good for overall for environment, biodiversity as well as GDP of the economy. In a helicopter crash, President Ibrahim Raisi has passed away. He was the president of Armenia, Azerbaijan, South Sudan or Iran. So he was the president of Iran. Recently, in an unfortunate accident, Ibrahim Raisi, the president of the Iran, and other ministers as well as other personals who were with him have died due to the helicopter crash. And India has very vibrant relationship with Iran. India had made 10-year deal with Chabahar port, which is in Iran. Chabahar port is a strategic port which is very important not only because of the economic activity but also its strategic significance. Chabahar port, once activated, can open lots of economic avenues for India because it will make the access to Central Asia, Moscow as well as Europe very easy, very convenient, at less time and less cost. India is also facing likelihood of sanctions from United States as reported by the media. Chabahar port is crucial for India to gain access to Central Asia as we have discussed, and it is also will lead to open up the international north-south transport corridor. Capital of the Iran is Tehran, currency is Iranian Rial, and the missile defense system is called Babar 373. Just like Israel operates Iron Dome. Shaheed 136, one of the most powerful drones, is operated by Iran. William Lai Chang-te has become the president of which country? Philippines, Indonesia, Taiwan or Vietnam. So it's Taiwan. Taiwan is officially known as Republic of China. Don't confuse. People Republic of China is China we share border with. The capital of Republic of China is Taiwan and currency is New Taiwan Dollar. One of the very highly developed economy. Most of the GDP depends on semiconductors. TSMC and UMC, these are the two backbone industries. Those support GDP of Taiwan as well as the global supply chain on semiconductors in all over the world. TSMC stands as Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Corporation, while UMC stands as United Microelectronics Corporation. So once again, William Lai Ching-te has become the president of Taiwan. Which PSU bank has topped in terms of the growth among the PSU banks? Means lots of the PSU banks were compared and the Bank of Maharashtra has topped the growth of the PSU banks among all the banks. Bank of Maharashtra has grown at 15.94% and it has noticed the strong domestic business that has shown impressive growth. Please remember this, it is headquartered in Pune and it was established in 1935. So let me tell you some important thing about the DSIP, about the bank. DSIP is domestically systematically important banks. These banks are very big. They have lended lots of money. They have lots of the assets and infrastructure and they contribute heavily on the Indian economy. So these banks are so important that they should not be failing. They should not be losing behind. These three banks are SBI, ICICI and HDFC. Means they carry very high importance in India's economy. And RBI has designated these names just like in insurance industry. It's a LIC in a similar manner. SBI, ICICI, HDFC are DC banks. If they fail, they will disrupt the Indian economy. So they are too big to fail. Means they cannot let to be failed. Every step has to be taken to prevent them from being failed. This is a worst case scenario. This is not happening because they are very profitable bank. In fact, SBI is among top 50 in the Asia when it's come to assets. And ICICI and HDFC are performing very well. Bank of Maharashtra has top the growth among the PSU banks. World Bee Day is celebrated on 11, 12, 24 or 20 May. It's 20 May. It is day to celebrate the birth anniversary of Anton Zonasa, who was mastered the skill of beekeeping. Beekeeping, it's different kind of art, and it is also called apiculture. Bees are the primary pollinator of the primary plant, means bees travel from one plant to another plants and just spread the seeds, and in this way it can lots of the plants, lots of the trees, lots of the flowers, lots of the fruits depend upon the pollinations. Bees are the responsible for the growth of greenery and ecosystems on this planet, and it increases the agricultural productivity. Bees are very important for the any nation's GDP because lots of the agricultural output is led to increase the GDP, and so they contribute directly or indirectly in a very significant manner. Which country has recently started mobility arrangement for talented and elderly professional schemes made for Indians? Sweden, Netherlands, Croatia, or Australia? So it's Australia. Australia has allowed visa entry for talented individuals who are just passed out or just freshers for under schemes known as MATES, and it is for Indians. Let me tell you some strategic partnership of Australia, and it is called AUKUS. A stands for Australia, it's UK and US. Means this is a trilateral security pact between US, UK and Australia to cater the challenges in Indo-Pacific. As we know, lots of the heated environment in their South China Sea near Indo-Pacific is also increasing. So to cater those challenges in future as well as present, all these countries has come together to form this security partnership called trilateral AUKUS. Australia, in this partnership, Australia will get nuclear powered submarines. US and UK already have nuclear powered submarine. So this will increase deterrence power in this region and it will bolster the regional security. Recently, ICMR has advised against using which cookware? Aluminum, gold, copper or non-stick? So it is non-stick. Apart from Indian Council of Medical Research, National Institute of Nutrition (NIN) has also expressed some views. It has told that perfluorooctanoic acid as well as perfluorooctanosulfuric acid both are harmful, and these are the used for in making Teflon coating, and these Teflon coatings are used in non-stick pans and cookwares. When these non-stick pans cookwares are heated, they release the very strange kind of fumes. You must have smelled it, and according to ICMR and NIN, when these fumes come into contact of people, they can create various diseases, including, in fact, it has also been heard saying that it is also carcinogenic, means it can also cause the cancer-like diseases, poses the serious threats, and it has been advised against using these cookwares. Longevity India campaign has been launched by IIT Madras, IISc Bengaluru, IIT Kanpur or IIT Delhi. So it is IISc Bengaluru. It is initiated by IISc Bengaluru to extend human health span and address the aging related challenges. As we grow older, lots of diseases come by. As a human, we try to increase our lifespan, we try to decrease our suffering at older age. So increase the longevity. IISc Bangalore has come forward and it will partner with multiple biological institutes as well as science institutes to come forward to address the challenges of aging populations and health span issues. As we know, India has lots of the young population right now. Our median age is very young, and at the similar time it has also drawbacks because we will be all growing older at the same time, and it might cause the health crisis as lots of the older people will be there and lots of disease will be there. So it is a futuristic project kind of, and in fact every country needs this such kind of treatment because old people face lots of challenges, and scientific communities can come forward and address those issues. It will develop solutions to improve the quality of life for elderly. Which state has launched DRIMS, Disaster Reporting and Information Management Systems? Uttarakhand, Arunachal Pradesh, Assam or Sikkim? So it is Uttarakhand. Being the hilly and mountainous region, it is a very sensitive region and it experiences lots of the landslides, cloudburst and other natural calamities throughout the year. We have seen lots of the floods, landslides in the past as well as forest fire in the past in Uttarakhand. So it needs centralized systems where it can feed the information and provide the information to everyone in a single portal, and it is called a DRIMS portal. DRIMS is a centralized platform to access all important information at single port. Recently, lots of fire were spreading in forest of Uttarakhand. So Indian Air Force has launched waves up to counter the forest fire, it is called Bombay bucket. In this Bombay bucket, the helicopters which were tied buckets at their bottom, they used to go, suppose this is a helicopter, and they used to go in the oceans, ponds and seas, and they were carry the water inside it. Once the bucket goes inside the water, the below portion or the bottom portion get locked and water stays in it, and it then powers into the firing area. Again, Uttarakhand government has come up with a very innovative solutions to counter the forest fire, apart from modern techniques such as firefighting techniques and support from Indian Air Force. It was पेरुल लाओ पैसे ले जाओ. Perul means dry pine leaves and lao means brings. Paise le jao means take away the money. Brings dry leaves and take away the money. In these initiatives, youths were given the price of per quintal for those dried leaves, so they can go and gather those dried leaves and bring it back to the collection centers and get the money. In this way, forest fire can be prevented because dry leaves also spread the fire at very rapid pace. What is International North-South Transport Corridor? These are the options given, and in summary, it is route that connects Moscow to India. In India, it connects to Mumbai. Moscow to Mumbai. It is a proposed multimodal transport. Multimodal means it will carry the rail, it will carry the sea, it will carry the road, and all possible ways to connect Mumbai to Moscow. It is a length of 7,200 km. It connects Mumbai from via train, Azerbaijan, Central Asia to Moscow and Europe. It is up to the Moscow, but we can also go to Europe just from there. It will reduce the cost and time significantly from the current route, as well as these kinds of the routes reduces the time taken to reach the commodities from one place to another place, as well as time. So in this way, it will be economic boost. Other than that, it will open avenues for India as it gets access to Central Asia. Earlier, Central Asia access was very long route for India, and it was hampering its economy as well as exporting the materials. So once again, this route will be very beneficial not only for India but all the countries living in the Central Asia as well as Iran. So these were today's current affairs. If you have enjoyed this session, please like this video and subscribe to this channel so that you can get timely videos, and please don't forget to subscribe us because your support is very important to us. And I also suggest you please keep learning current affair every day. First, learn from here in these videos. Second, go back immediately and attempt the MCQs, means multiple choice types questions or quizzes. And third is revise. Without revision, it is impossible to cover current affairs. So these were today's current affairs, and thank you so much for joining me. Have a great day.